Welcome to my channel Alien Signal. The Orion Interstellar Academy floated silently in orbit above the blue-green world of Arindra. From a distance, it looked like a shining ring of silver light around the planet. But inside the Academy was something far more extraordinary than advanced technology or alien architecture. It was a place where dozens of species from across the galaxy studied together. Tall insectoid scholars from the Virex colonies, towering reptilian cadets from the Kroth Dominion, luminous energy beings from the luminary clusters, and countless other alien civilizations filled the halls. And among them, were humans. Humans were new to the galactic stage. Only a few years earlier, Earth had made first contact with the Galactic Union. Compared to the ancient alien empires, humans were considered young, unpredictable, and physically unimpressive. Most alien students thought humans were weak. And unfortunately, that belief made some of them arrogant. The new human student, a human girl named Elena Carter, stepped into classroom Sector 7 with a calm but determined expression. She was 17 years old, with dark brown hair tied loosely behind her shoulders and a small silver academy badge on her uniform. Her posture was confident, but inside she felt the familiar pressure of being watched. Whenever humans entered a room at Orion Academy, everyone noticed. Some aliens were curious, some were friendly, but many were skeptical. Elena ignored the whispers and walked toward an empty desk near the center of the room. The classroom itself was enormous. Desks of different sizes and shapes filled the hall to accommodate the many alien species. Floating holographic screens displayed complex star maps and equations across the walls. Today's lesson was Galactic Conflict History. Elena opened her digital tablet and waited quietly. Around her, alien students observed her like she was a strange new creature in a zoo. One tall reptilian student leaned toward his friend and muttered in a deep rumbling voice. "Humans, fragile creatures." His friend chuckled. "They barely survived their own planet." Elena pretended not to hear them. She had learned something important during her first months at the academy. Not every battle needed to be fought with words. The alien bully. The classroom doors suddenly slid open again. A group of Kroth students walked in. The Kroth were massive reptilian humanoids from a harsh warrior world. Their species valued strength, dominance, and reputation above everything. Leading the group was a tall Kroth student named Zarek Tharn. Zarek stood nearly 8 feet tall. Dark scales covered his arms and neck, and sharp ridges ran across his brow. He carried himself with the confidence of someone who had never been challenged. As soon as he entered the classroom, his yellow reptilian eyes scanned the room. Then they stopped on Elena. A slow grin spread across his scaled face. "Well, look what we have here," he said loudly. Several students turned to watch. Zarek walked toward Elena's desk. His heavy footsteps echoed across the metal floor. Elena kept reading her tablet. She knew that ignoring bullies often made them lose interest. But Zarek wasn't the type to walk away. He stopped beside her desk. "So you're one of the new human students, aren't you?" he said. Elena slowly looked up. "Yes." Zarek leaned closer, studying her like a predator studying prey. "I've heard about humans," he continued. "Weak bones, slow reflexes, soft skin." A few alien students laughed quietly. Elena remained calm. "We survived on one of the most dangerous planets in the galaxy," she replied calmly. Zarek snorted. "That's what humans like to say." Then something unexpected happened. Zarek reached forward and pulled Elena's hair. Hard. The moment everything changed, the classroom froze. Several alien students gasped. Hair pulling was considered a childish insult even among alien species. But Zarek did it deliberately. He yanked Elena's hair again and laughed. "So fragile," he mocked. For a split second, Elena said nothing. Then she slowly stood up. Her chair slid backward across the floor. Zarek grinned wider. What are you going to do, human? The next second happened so fast most students barely saw it. Slap! The sound echoed across the entire classroom. Alina's hand struck Zarek across the face with a loud, sharp crack. The giant Croth student stumbled backward. The entire room went silent. No one moved. No one spoke. Even the floating holographic displays seemed frozen in the air. Zarek slowly turned his head back toward Elena. His yellow eyes burned with disbelief. You struck me. Elena looked straight into his eyes. You pulled my hair, she said calmly. Across the classroom, several alien students stared with wide eyes. A human had just slapped a Croth warrior student. That alone was shocking, but things were about to get worse. The general arrives. The classroom doors suddenly opened again. A tall armored Croth officer stepped inside. Gasps spread through the room. It was General Tharos, a legendary Croth commander who occasionally visited the academy to lecture about military history. But today, he had arrived earlier than expected. His massive armored boots echoed across the floor as he stepped forward. What is happening here? He demanded. No one answered. Then Zarek spoke. This human attacked me, General. Several students looked uncertain. General Tharos turned his glowing red eyes toward Elena. You struck a Croth cadet. Elena didn't hesitate. Yes. The room held its breath. The Croth military valued honor above everything. Attacking a Croth could be considered a serious offense. General Tharos slowly approached her. The massive warrior towered over Elena. Why? He asked. Elena crossed her arms. Because he pulled my hair. A few students quietly nodded. But Zarek growled angrily. She lies. Elena turned toward him. You want the truth, she said. She pointed directly at him. Try it again. Gasps rippled across the room. Zarek's pride was already wounded. Being challenged by a human girl in front of the entire class was unbearable. With a snarl, he reached forward again. His claws moved toward Elena's hair. But this time, he didn't get the chance. The human reflex. Elena moved faster. She grabbed Zarek's wrist mid-motion and twisted sharply. The massive Croth student dropped to one knee with a surprised grunt. The room erupted with shocked whispers. General Tharos raised an eyebrow. Elena released Zarek and stepped back. The Croth student stood slowly, clearly stunned. General Tharos studied Elena carefully. Then he looked at Zarek. Did you provoke her? Zarek hesitated. That was enough. The general turned back toward the class. In Croth culture, he said loudly, honor demands respect for opponents, especially those smaller than you. The room fell silent again. Then General Tharos looked at Elena. You defended yourself. Yes. And you did not strike him first. No. The general nodded slowly. Then something surprising happened. He turned toward Zarek. You embarrassed yourself today. Zarek's eyes widened. General Tharos continued. You attacked someone weaker and were defeated by discipline and speed. Then he looked at Elena again. And you. The room waited. The general gave a small nod. You showed courage. A lesson for the galaxy. Word about the incident spread. Through Orion Academy within hours. Alien students whispered about it in hallways and dining halls. The human slapped a Croth. She even pinned him to the floor. General Tharos defended her. For the first time since humans joined the academy, many alien students began to see them differently. Not as weak newcomers, but as a species that refused to be intimidated. Later that evening, Elena sat alone in the academy garden dome, looking out at the stars through the transparent ceiling. Footsteps approached behind her. She turned. It was General Tharos. The massive Croth warrior stood beside her. You surprised my students today, he said. Elena shrugged. He shouldn't have pulled my hair. The general chuckled quietly. A simple reason. He looked out at the stars. You humans are interesting. How so? You are physically weaker than many species, yet you rarely back down. Elena smiled slightly. On Earth, we had to fight for everything. The general nodded thoughtfully. Perhaps that is why. He turned to leave, but before he did, he said something that Elena would never forget. Today, you did not just defend yourself. You reminded the Academy of something important. Elena raised an eyebrow. What's that? General Tharos looked back at her. Never underestimate a human. Then he walked away. Above the Academy, the stars continued to shine quietly across the endless galaxy. But somewhere among those stars, a small story had begun to spread. A story about a human girl. And the slap that changed how the galaxy saw humanity. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more cinematic science fiction stories.